friends, my name is Samuel. Today I am going to talk about one of my small poetry written long back and try to decode the real meaning of democracy and its applied part. We all know that democracy is a very kind of charming word. It's a philosophical word accepted globally. Many countries they operate their democratic system by the principle of democracy. So all we know that democracy is an ideal state where everybody gets an equal opportunity to express their feelings, their freedom, their values, everything. All we know also the greatest political leader and also the president of America, 16th president of America, Abraham Lincoln, 1860. What he told about democracy. Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Very ideal statement. And if you recall his great speech in Gettysburg Address in 1863 during the American Civil War, what he told. He talked about nationalism, equal rights, liberty, and democracy. But the people of America also have not spared him. He was murdered, right? So, there must be some opposition, some rebellions. Which took his life. Similar way, Gandhiji, he was murdered. There must be debate, and there are debates, there are theories why Gandhiji was killed, why Abraham Lincoln was killed, why Rajiv Gandhi was killed, why Indira Gandhi was killed. Even during the British regime, why Khudiram Bose, Prafullo Chaki, they are hanged. Those are thoughts, those are history. But if you take or think philosophically, all leaders they hold certain principle and if you believe them, they have followed their principle of life, principle of freedom, principle of struggle in their own way. So let us talk about democracy, whether democracy is ideal or not. That is $1 million question. Now the question is how to establish a good democracy. Whatever we follow through open and honest voting system, you select your leader to run the country. The majority take the principal role and they get chance to rule or run the country or the society, whatever way, whichever way you say it. It's basically fair selection. These are all perceptions. Now, if you take the history, the democracy has also gone through various changes. We question whether the voting system is good or bad, because hypothetically when you say that 55% people supporting a government, rest 45% is the rebellion. They don't accept the principle of the ruling party or ruling government. So always there is a divide. Of taking things forward. Now let me come back to the poetry part. I am not a politician, I am not a thinker, even I am not a historian, not an economist. I do not have any capacity to conclude anything. But I have tried to concentrate on my thoughts in a single poetry, that is মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ, true, a tree of lies, where our voting system are selecting a leader to lead the nation, lead the country. Let me go through this poetry. মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ, a tree of lies. আমি একটা মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ পুঁতেছি আমার ফলের বাগানে. You imagine a situation, there is a tree, it has got some, it's a democracy, it has got some democratic values, because trees are not political, it's apolitical. So it's a seed of democracy. When converted to tree, it is the people who raise the plant, the people who raise the democracy. দুর্লভ এ গাছ মেলে না যেখানে সেখানে. This tree is a precious plant. Democracy, this word is very precious. You don't find here and there. প্রকৃতির নিয়মে বেড়ে উঠেছে এ গাছ. In a natural circumstances, with the atmosphere, this plant grows. সব কৃতিত্ব আমার. You feel proud of it that this plant is raised by you, the people. আমি একটা মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ পুঁতেছি, ফল ধরে না যখন তখন। This tree doesn't give you fruit every time. This is a typical tree every 5 years. So there is flowering followed by fruits. That is what is called the selection of people, the leader. ভোটের হাওয়া ফুটলে পরে ডালে আসে মুকুল. During the election time, you will find lot of flowerings, lot of hopes. ডালে ডালে শুধুই ফোটে মিথ্যা শত মুকুল. You will find each branch is full of flowers, the flowers of hope. We don't see those are the lies, right? Out of all the flowers, how many flowers will be giving fruits? That is a question. ভুল করে সব মৌমাছিরা ভিড়ে ফুলের পরে. All those insects, bees, they all come and try to take the nectar from those flowers. মিষ্টি কথায় তুষ্ট হয়ে ফেরেন ঘরের পরে. All the political leader, it's like all the flowers is a symbolic. They represent each political leader. By their sweet words, the common people get attracted towards those flowers. They accept, they digest, they imagine, they enjoy. Because of those hopes, their life will be changed, right? মিষ্টি কথায় তুষ্ট হয়ে ভিড়ে ফুলের পরে. ফলের কথা বলছি মশাই, 5 বছরে একটি বার ফল ধরেছে হাজার হাজার. As I have told you, this is a democratic system. Every 5 years you get a chance to have the flowering on those particular plant. Thousands of people, they move towards that particular flowering plants. They are very much impressed with these words, commitment by the political leaders, that they are going to get good fruits out of it. পাঁচ বছরে একটি বার ফল ধরেছে হাজার হাজার. After 5 years, there are thousands of fruits hanging on trees. ছুটছে সবাই, ছুটছে সবাই, সবাই মিথ্যা ফলের দাবিদার. Everybody is just moving towards the flower fruits, and everybody is trying to claim the share of those fruits. Now see the end result. ভোট ফুরালো, ফল পাকলো. Election was over. Now you got the fruit. The fruit is the formation of government. What is formation of government? It is nothing but the promise, a concentrated form of promise that has to be delivered. ভোট ফুরালো ফল পাকলো. At the end of the vote, the fruit is matured. সবাই যখন হাত বাড়ালো. Now you really want to have the share of those fruits, right? Because you have participated in the democratic process, starting from flowering to the fruits. ভোট ফুরালো ফল পাকলো, সবাই যখন হাত বাড়ালো, মিথ্যা ফলের গাছটা তখন মুচকি হেসে বিদায় নিল. Now, when you are trying to ask or demand the share of those fruits, the fruits leaves you without giving you your due shares. It goes to specific pockets. Now I am going to recite this poetry to my Bengali friends. Now let them realize what is this poetry is all about. Don't take it in political sense. I am not a politician or anything. I have just expressed what is democracy and the democratic values, the reality. মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ. আমি একটা মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ পুঁতেছি আমার ফলের বাগানে. দুর্লভ এ গাছ মেলে না যেখানে সেখানে. প্রকৃতির নিয়মে বেড়ে হয়েছে এ গাছ, সব কৃতিত্ব আমার. আমি একটা মিথ্যা ফলের গাছ পুঁতেছি. ফল ধরে না যখন তখন, ভোটের হাওয়া ফুটলে পরে আসে ডালে মুকুল. ডালে ডালে শুধুই ফোটে শত মিথ্যা মুকুল. ভুল করে সব মৌমাছিরা ভিড়ে ফুলের পরে মিষ্টি কথায় তুষ্ট হয়ে ফেলেন বাড়ির পরে, ফেরেন বাড়ির পরে. ফলের কথা বলছি মশাই, 5 বছরে একটি বার ফল ধরেছে হাজার হাজার. ছুটছে সবাই, সবাই মিথ্যা ফলের দাবিদার. ভোট ফুরালো ফল পাকলো, সবাই যখন হাত বাড়ালো, মিথ্যা ফলের গাছটা তখন মুচকি হেসে বিদায় নিল. So finally what I am trying to conclude, the real share or real beneficiary of democracy is not all common people. It has got different shares. That's why there are so much inequilibrium in our society. That's why there is poor, there is rich, there is middle class, there is upper middle class, lower middle class. It's not homogeneous state, it's a non-homogeneous state. So again, to conclude this thing, no democracy is perfect. We really do not know how to give a perfect shape. People talk about socialism, communism, that is also failed. Because when you try to propagate communism, Marxism and everything, but finally it leads to dictatorship. Individual try to gain more power and try to capture the wealth. So friends, a good poetry is a poetry where you have lot of thoughts. So So anybody is writing serious poetry, it's a lot of things that goes down the line. It's not easy to write a difficult poetry, a political poetry, or a meaningful poetry to understand the society, the social fabrics and everything. So keep thinking. Don't blame that XYZ is having so much things, so much wealth. But what I feel individual is important. If you have the potential, you be like a tree. Try to experiment your own capabilities, how you can survive in this democratic values and system in better ways to do your day-to-day basis job and to save your life, to save your family and move further. So don't think much about what you have not got, but you can always think what you can do, what you can achieve within the given system, the opportunities. It might be the limited opportunities. You can question always, but there is always chance to make you become more fittest and survival species, keeping your democratic values systems in mind. Thank you so much for hearing this poetry. My purpose is not lecturing something. Because of this coronavirus episode, you think when you are stuck up at home for 45 days, your mind has to do some work, some rational thinking. So with this thinking, I'm just expressing and outletting my voice as a common man. So thank you so much again for hearing this. Thanks a lot. Do write good poetry, meaningful poetry. Thank you.